Hello. In this series of videos, we are going to integrate different parts of the Telegram Messenger API into a Ruby on Rails application. And on my screen at the moment, you can see some examples of what we are going to do. So, for example, we are going to have a button to log in via Telegram. And when you log in with the Telegram application, you'll be able to access your Telegram username and ID in the session. And as well, you'll be able to write a new comment, so create a comment. And when you create a comment or do any actions with the comment, there will be transactional notifications from a Telegram bot telling you that something has happened. For example, a new comment has been posted. As well, you will be able to go and send different messages. For example, by just clicking a button, you'll be able to send a message either privately or into a group with the Telegram bot, or you will be able to simply type in some kind of text, res post, and send a message to Telegram. So these are just some examples of what we are going to do. But one thing that really fascinates me is the possibility to use Telegram API for recording and for telling about some kind of transactional information in a Ruby on Rails application. For example, that a user has signed up or that somebody has paid to use your application. So now we're going to implement the Telegram API into a Ruby on Rails application step by step. But first, let's try to play a bit with the Telegram API and try to create a Telegram bot. So you see, now I have the Telegram application open. Now you can have it open on your desktop or on your phone or in the browser as I have it here, whatever. But basically, I go to search and find botfather. So botfather is a Telegram application for creating and managing your Telegram bots. So I created this conversation with the botfather. I typed help, and I was given a set of commands that I can write to this botfather. For example, I want to create a new bot. I will select or type new bot. And now I can select a name for this bot. I will say, for example, Teleg Rails. Okay, this will be the name of the bot, but the name doesn't fit because it has to have bot as an ending. So I will say Teleg Rails bot. Okay, and my bot was created. So you see, I have a link to access the bot. Then I have the API key to access the bot and a link to the Telegram documentation. I will open all of them. So here I have the API key, and here I have the link to the Telegram bot. Here it is. I open the conversation with the bot and I will press start. And when I press start, I kind of posted a start message to the bot. And here I have this bot. Now, in this botfather, you can do a lot of different actions with the bot. For example, let's type help. And here we have my bots. To edit my bots, so I press my bots, and I can select a bot, for example, the one that I have just created. And I have a lot of things that I can do. I can go to edit the bot and change the name, the about section, the description, the image, whatever. I can view the API key. I can change the API key. I can delete the bot, transfer ownership, whatever. So a lot of actions that I can do with the bot. But now let's go to the API. So I have created a bot, and now I want to do some API commands. For example, I want to make a request. Now, for example, I have this request to get the bot. Let's see what it does. I will copy this into my browser, and I will replace this text with the ID of the bot that I have just created. So I will go back to the botfather, and somewhere here I have the ID of the bot. I will just copy it and paste it in my URL instead of the other bot ID. So here I pasted my bot ID. Now I will copy it to save it somewhere and press enter. And I'm making an API call to Telegram. And the status is okay. So I got the information about this bot. I see that the ID of the bot is this one, the name of the bot, the username of the bot, and some details about the bot, like can join groups, can read all group messages, and so on. So I made our first API request to Telegram using this bot. Now let's do some more stuff. For example, we can get updates. So here is getting updates, and let's see what it is. Let's type get updates like this and see if anything happens. So we just have result, okay, true, and no result, nothing is happening. But if I type some kind of message to the bot, for example, I will open this bot, Telegrails, and type some kind of message. I type the message, now I will refresh the get updates, and I get an answer. So I see that there was a message sent from this ID. So here I see my personal Telegram ID, my first name, last name, username, my language, and the information about the chat. So the chat is with me. Again, this is my user ID, the time when the message was sent, and the text that was sent in this message. So this way, having the API key of the bot, I can type get updates and get all the messages that the bot receives. Let's try sending one more message. I will go and type hello again and post this once again. And you see there is a longer response, and on the bottom I have hello again. So I managed to make one more response to the bot. The bot has the command get updates, and whenever we refresh, we get the latest messages sent to this bot. Looks nice. Now, at the moment, we managed to send messages to a bot and to get updates only from a personal chat. So I'm directly interacting with the bot. I initiated the conversation. And now I'm going to create a group chat and invite the bot to the group chat. So I'm creating a new group. Let me just find the bot. It will be Teleg Rails. So I'm adding this bot to the group. I'll give the group some kind of name, and I've created the group. And I will say hello. Okay, and now I will refresh this once again and see if I get the group message. I go to the bottom, and here I see a new message. So the message ID from this user in this group. And here is the name of the group, Telegrails group. So you see, we see that a user sent a message with some specific text in this Telegram group. And we see the ID of the group. So this way, by getting updates, we managed to find the ID of the user and ID of the group. And now let's try to actually send some messages using our bot and the API commands. So let's go to the documentation and find something like send message. So here is send message. I will just go down, and here is the documentation for send message. Now we can have chat ID that is required and text that is also required, and a lot of other functions. But for now, let's start with chat ID and text. So here we will type send message, and for sending a message, we need to add chat ID and text that are both required. Let's start with sending a message to a user. So I will add this ID, and this ID will be the chat ID. So question mark chat ID equals this chat ID, and text will equal hello, just hello. Now I will do it in another window and post. And you see, there was a sound, I received the message. I will go to this bot, and you see, the bot sent me a personal message saying hello. So it's a great success. We could just run a command in our browser, an API call to Telegram using our bot API, and we sent a message to our bot, from our bot into our direct messages in Telegram. And now we can do the same by sending a message not into our direct messages, but into a group. Now for the group, we need to select this whole chat ID together with this minus. I will copy it, and instead of the user ID, I will input the group ID and post. And here's the sound. You see, in the Telegram group, they also sent a hello message, so it worked. Now it works wonderful. We managed to create a Telegram bot. We managed to find our user ID and a group ID using the Telegram bot and send messages from the Telegram bot to both our user and into a Telegram group. Now let's start implementing this in a Ruby on Rails application. So here I have created a basic empty Ruby on Rails application. I named it Telegrails for now, and there's nothing in it. So let's start the application and have a look. Basically, there is just a home controller and an index page, nothing else. I've just created this application, and let's add the Telegram API into it. So first of all, let's add a button to send a group message and a button to send a personal message. And it's really simple. I will just go to our views, app, views, home, index, and add a couple of links. I will say equals link to send a private message. And in this URL, I will have this whole URL. Now, this is the URL for the group message. So I will make one for the group message and one for the private. Send group message and send private message. And in sending the private message, I will just change this chat ID to my user ID. Now I add this, and don't forget to remove the minus. And I will say the text is group message. And here text will be direct message. Let's see if this works. I will refresh, and here I have two links. Send group message. I pressed it. Let's go to Telegram, and here I got this group message. Now I will go back. You see, I was redirected to this JSON. I press send private message. Again, I'm redirected to the JSON, and I received a private message. Now, bots can send messages only to users who have started a conversation with them, or who are present in a group in which the bot is also present. So a bot cannot initiate a conversation with a user. A bot can only answer to a user if a user has previously initiated a conversation with the bot. So let's go back. Now we have two links to send a group and a private message. But when we send these messages, we get redirected. Let's try to send the messages without getting redirected. So I will try to add an option to our links like target blank. I think it is like this, target blank. Let's see. I press send private message, yes, and it gets opened in a new tab. So this is a bit more comfortable. I will also add target blank to the other link. And let's save our changes. So what have we done? Git, now not this one, git status, git add all, git commit main. We added a link to send a Telegram API message via group or private message. And don't forget, here we have our bot API key in public access. And this is not nice. Anybody can see our bot API key and do different malicious stuff. So we are later on going to hide this. But first of all, now we have just two links to send these requests. And let's try to do it in a more Rails way. Let it be a link to an action inside the controller, and we'll just be able to redirect to an action in the controller where we're going to keep all the logic of this message. So let's try to do it. Let's imagine we will have a link to send via send a group message via controller. And this will be a link to the home group message path. Okay, and now we need to define the root and the controller for home controller group message action. So let's go to our controllers. We will go to our home controller, and here we're going to have an action called def group message. Okay, and now we need a root that will access this group message. So let's go to our config and roots. And in our roots, we will say post home. No, not like this. We will say post home group message to home group message. Let's see if this root exists. I will go to /roots. Now I will start the server. Okay, I will see I have post home group message path. Looks fine. So home group message path. And we're going to say method post. Or instead of typing method post, we can just have not link to, but button to. So if we use button to, it will be post by default. Let's see if anything happens. I will go back to the application. I press this send group message via controller, and nothing actually happens because this controller action is empty. So let's say redirect to root path with a notice success. Let's see if this works. Now, possibly it doesn't work because we didn't say that we can receive a notice anywhere in our application. It is a new application. I will go to layouts, and in our layouts above yield, I will say equals notice, if there is any notice. And you see, I got a success notice. Now, I will try once again, and here I get this success message. So our link works. But how are we going to move our logic for sending an HTTP request into our controller? Well, for this, we're going to use the gem HTTParty. Gem HTTParty. Let's install this gem and see how we can use it. So here's the gem, and we can have get methods, and we can have post methods, I think. So let's add this gem and see how it works. I will add it to our gem file. I will go to our gem file and say gem HTTParty and see if it gets installed. I will type bundle. It might have worked. And now I'm going to add an HTTP request in our controller action. So I'm going to our home controller, and here I'm going to say HTTParty.post, and here we're going to have our URL. Now I'm going to just take our URL from the group message, the whole URL, and I'm going to add it just inside here. I'm going to replace it. And let's see if it works. Okay, it's still saving. Okay, it looks like I got disconnected. So let's get back. So I added this API request to our HTTParty.post. And let's see if this works. I'm going to start the server once again. And I'm going to type send group message via controller. And I heard a notification. Let's change the message text, for example. Let's go back and say hello world, just to see that it's definitely a different message. I press the button and we get hello world. So this way we managed to make this HTTParty post request inside our controller. And let's save our changes. So git status, git add all, git commit main, gem HTTParty, and send Telegram message from controller. Looks nice. Now let's improve our flow. So first of all, it is not nice that we keep our bot API keys in a controller. We can set it in our initializers as a global constant. For example, we can create a new initializer named telegram.rb, and inside we will add a constant telegram equals, and in equals we're going to input our bot ID. So this whole ID, like this, and I'm going to save it. And after saving an initializer or editing an initializer, you need to always restart your server. So I have added this global constant, and now we can even access it in one of our views. Let's say that under notice, we will display our Telegram, and it will display us our API key. So it works. And now instead of calling our API key on each controller level, we can just call this Telegram constant directly. Let's try. I will remove this bot ID in our HTTParty post, and here instead I will input our Telegram. Let's see if this works. I will just change the message to be sure that it works. And I press the button and bad URI. Yeah, this URI did not work. It did not find Telegram. Okay, let's change it. Let's try saying like this, equals Telegram, and see if it works. We will go back and send group message. And no, it does not work either. Okay, let's try it differently. I will say API key equals Telegram, and here I will call this API key. And let's see if this works. Now, just to be sure, I will restart the server and go back to the root path and press the button to send a message. Okay, it didn't work either. Now you see we have this additional slash. Yeah, this slash doesn't seem to be on the right place. Actually, I will just change the gaps to double gaps. And you see now it says that it is actually code. Okay, this should definitely work. So I press send group message. I get success here. And I got the message Telegram. So it works. Fantastic. We managed to send a message. Now we can actually just continue on building this HTTParty post method. So here you see we have the chat ID, and we can also move the chat ID out. I will say chat ID equals this chat ID. And here I will say just input this chat ID. And we can do the same with the text. So instead of text equals Telegram, we can just say text equals text. And here we will define our text. So text equals video, for example. And let's see if this works. I will press the send group message and view the message if it was received. So we got a message with the word video. And now we can just replace the chat ID from the group ID to the direct message ID, for example, and see if it works. So chat ID will be this personal ID. Now I press the send message. And it worked. I received this message with the video word in a direct message from the bot. So it's really nice. Now, what did we just learn to do? We learned to create a Telegram bot to send messages using HTTParty from the bot to a personal and to a group chat. So looks really nice to me. And now, just to improve the HTTParty method a bit more, we can undo it some more. So you see, if you actually go deep into the documentation of HTTParty, you will see some improvements that can be made. So we can add send message, comma, and here we will have something like body equals. Now I will make it in a separate thread. I will just comment this out, and here I will say comma, and I will say body, and inside the body tag, I will input chat ID equals chat ID, comma, text equals text, and to JSON. And I will remove this part, and somewhere we need to close the gaps, possibly here. And we need to close this gap. So we'll close this gap here and see if it works. I will refresh. I'll press send group message. There's the moment of truth. It looks like there wasn't any message sent. Not very nice. Now, to deliver the message with our JSON, we would need to add something like this: headers, content type, application JSON. Let's try now. I will say JSON message, save and refresh and send. Now I will check, and here we got this JSON message. So this approach to sending messages via HTTParty is more sustainable long term. So we have kind of unbuilt our URL into separate pieces, and now we can press a button to send a message using our Telegram bot. So that's it for this video, and we're going to go deeper into the rabbit hole in the next videos. Thanks for being with me. Like, comment, and subscribe. Have a nice evening.